Welcome to the Ultimate 180, the podcast for hardworking people like you who are ready to break free from exhaustion and create a life that actually feels good. Let's ditch the fear, relieve the stress, and start changing your life one simple degree at a time. Hey, it's Christina Walker, and welcome back to the Ultimate 180, where we flip what you think you know upside down so you can finally create a life that you actually want to live. In today's episode, we are diving into a powerful concept that could be the missing link between where you are and where you want to be. The difference between thinking and feeling. You might think you're doing all the right things to create more success, more money, more joy. But if you're only operating from your mind, then you're missing out on the real magic. Because it's not what you think that actually changes your life. It's what you feel. So before we dive in, quick favor, if this episode sparks something inside you, hope, clarity, or even a nudge to think differently, tap that follow button. It helps you stay plugged in, and it also helps someone else who really needs to find this message too. And if something really hits home, do not keep this to yourself. Screenshot this episode, share it on social, and please tag me with your biggest takeaway. I love seeing what lands, and it inspires me to do more. If you want to go deeper, grab my free Stop Working So Hard workbook and join my VIP community. We are doing life-changing work together, and you do not have to do this alone. All the links are in the show notes, so let's get started as we navigate change together, one degree at a time. Let's do this. Our brains are wired to keep us safe. Safe, comfortable, and exactly right where we're at. But if you're tired of feeling stuck and overwhelmed, or like you're just spinning your wheels, it's time to shift from thinking your way through life to feeling your way through life to what you really want. So today we're going to break down how to tap into the power of feeling and why it's more completely powerful than just thought alone, and how it can open up doors you didn't even know were there. So why does thinking keep you stuck? That sounds kind of weird, right? Because we are taught, we have to go to school, right? We go to college because we want to be big thinkers. And that is how we are taught. And I'm not saying that's not important, but my whole concept here, what I want you to understand is when we come from just inside our brains truly are wired to keep us safe. And so it keeps you in this bubble. And if you've heard any of my podcasts before, you've heard me talking about your radar. And when you start coming from a feeling place in life of what you want, and we're going to dive into this, and you start opening up that radar, that's when new thoughts and opportunities can come your way because you're so hardwired. Your brain really only wants to see what it sees, right? You're a sponge when you're little, and then that stops. It doesn't really want to be a sponge. It wants to keep you alive. And that's great. But we also want something better, right? Of course we want to stay alive. That's great. Thank you, brain. But we do want something better. So the only way we can get something better outside of ourselves is to come from a feeling place. Because if you've ever wondered why you keep repeating the same patterns and taking the same actions and getting the same results, it's because you haven't broken free from your mind saying, okay, we're on a loop here. This is what you do. This happens. This is what you do. This happens. This is what you do. You've just wired yourself for so many years this way, and your brain wants you to keep it this way. So in order to break free, we have to quiet the mind. We have to really stop it and say, hold on, thank you so much. And when we quiet our mind, we can access a deeper, more intuitive state where we're feeling our way into life and not just thinking. I'm not telling you that we stop thinking, but we have to start feeling first. And that's how we are guided towards action. So, how do we connect with this, what I call kind of our inner compass, right? Our radar, our compass, what shows us the way to get into that power of feeling. Because feelings really are your internal radar. And when we start working from that internal space, our mind will catch up and say, oh, okay, I think I know what to do with this, or I'm going to find a way to deal with this, right? It's going to find a way to make everything work. So when you are quiet and you are able to tune in to what you really, really want, not what you think that you should want, but what you really, really want, you activate your inner guidance system, that feeling kind of place. And this is where clarity happens. It happens right there, is when you get into that feeling space. So if you could spend, as much time as you can, but a few minutes a day, multiple times a day is better. A few minutes a day, and close your eyes. Give yourself a few deep breaths, like real ones, not the, okay, let's go, let's move, because we live like that, right? I want that belly to stick out, kind of like big, deep breath. Take a few deep breaths. Get all of the stuff out of your head of the day and say, okay, I'm going to give myself a pause. And I want you to ask yourself, what do I really want to feel today? How many times do we ask ourselves that? How do I want to feel? We normally just wake up and go, right? Okay, turn on the coffee, or whatever we do, right? We're just robot mode, and we live by default. That was my last episode. And let these answers, when you ask the question, what do I really want to feel today? Let it come from somewhere deeper, whether you want to call it your heart, your soul, your breath. How do you want to feel? Not just your head, because our heads get in the way a lot. It says, well, you don't have time to do that. You don't have time right now to worry about how you want to feel. You've got to go to work, and you've got to make the money, and you've got to do this. Yeah, but you can take a pause for a minute. You can find a time during the day to pause, right? Not while you're driving, please, but you can find time to pause and really think, but how would I want to feel? Not how do I feel? How do I want to feel? Because feeling, when you start to feel how you want to feel in the future, right? And you get into that feeling space, like, how do I want to feel? I want to feel satisfied. That's a great feeling. I want to feel today, at the end of the day, I want to feel satisfied. And then sit with that until you actually feel what it feels like to feel satisfied. Feel it. Sit there until you feel like, if you have to think of a time in your life where you felt satisfied, get into that remembering space to do it. That's totally fine. Whatever it is, to trick your mind to just stop getting involved for a minute and allow yourself to start feeling your way through this. It's the only way that you're going to make true change into what you want, because it's your true guidance system of how do I want to feel. So it's really the only way to attract anything in your life before it arrives, is to feel. And I'll go into a specific one in another episode, but I want you to understand just the concept here of feeling in order to create. Feeling to create, whether it's money, success, love, whatever it is. You can't just think about what those things that you want, right? So let's say, oh, I really want $1 million. That doesn't really equate to a feeling. You really want to feel that satisfaction that you have it, right? Isn't that really what you want? You want to feel the freedom. That's what the feeling place gives us. And so when we start to get into the feeling place of having, of satisfaction, of that freedom, of whatever it is you want in life, you will start to be able to tune in and hear the opportunities in life that will end up giving you that feeling in real life. Because right now you're so stuck in your current feelings, you're just bringing more of that into your radar. That's it. That's all that's happening. And it's okay. But if you want something better, you've got to be able to get into that feeling place first. So, again, if you start by closing your eyes and imagining what it feels like to have what you want in life already, what would it feel like if you woke up in the morning with excitement? Can you imagine? Wake up in the morning excited for the day, not, I got a bunch of meetings and I got to get this and I don't want to be out of bed. That's a whole different feeling. And I think all of us know that way too much. But what if we could put the whole world aside for a minute? And what if we could get into that space of what does it feel like? What would it feel like? You know, even if you've had that experience before in life, or even if you haven't, I mean, if you have, then get into the space of, oh, remember how that felt? Oh, yeah, that feels good. And feel it now. Don't just feel it like that felt good. Be like, oh, that felt good. And wow, that does feel good now. Because whatever it is that you want, whether it's financial freedom, if you want deeply connected relationships, satisfying, passionate work, whatever it is that you want in life, pretend you have it for a minute and feel satisfied in that. And the more that you practice this state of feeling, you are activating your subconscious mind, that subconscious, that radar, and it is going to notice and attract opportunities in your life that align with that energy of feeling satisfied. Here's the bottom line. Your brain is a powerful tool, but it's not where true change begins. If you keep trying to think your way to a better life, you're going to stay exactly where you are. Your brain's going to have it that way. It's time to drop down from your head and connect with your heart or your soul or whatever you want to call it, and let your feelings start leading the way. Because when you feel the life that you want before it arrives, you open up your internal radar to see and hear every opportunity that's going to get you there. You just couldn't perceive of how to do them now. That's why you can't see them. So thank you so much for joining me. If this episode hit home at all, just tap that follow button and tag me with your biggest takeaway. If you want to dive deeper, then let's discover what's ultimately possible for you. Grab my free workbook, join the VIP group at the links below, or ultimate180.com. You'll find all my episodes there on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your shows.